Today I want to talk about my lifetime running goals. Some I'm already semi-prepping for, like a Crocs marathon, or some that are really going to take a full lifetime of running where hopefully the universe and any being from above grants me great health to just continue running, because these events are pretty cool but also pretty ambitious. I'll briefly pass by this one. I do want to run a marathon fully in Crocs, all 26.2 miles with not carbon plated shoes but Crocs. Number 2, I just made a video on how I plan to get into all 6 marathon majors, so that follows. One of my lifetime goals is to run all 6 marathon majors, get that 6-star medal, and then potentially run all 9 ABOT World Marathon Majors, which now includes Sydney, Cape Town, Africa, and Shanghai, China, which the last 2 out of 3 that I mentioned aren't officially marathon majors yet, but they will be soon. Number 3, this wasn't a lifetime goal until my girlfriend just recently did this a couple months ago, and that is to win prize money from a running race. Yes, my girlfriend has won prize money from a race. I haven't yet. That's kind of a bragging right she has, and something I want to match in the future. And number 4, this is possibly my most unique running goal, and this is to run a mile in the eye of a hurricane while listening to Hurricane by The Weeknd and Hurricane from the Hamilton musical. A quirky goal, and one that's going to be very challenging because you have to get inside of an eye of a hurricane. My parents do live in Miami, so that might help me aid in this goal slightly, but this will be challenging to do. Number 4, and this will get into like the ultra marathon topic. I have now done my first ultra marathon, and now I do want to set my sights on future distances such as 50 miles or maybe 100K, which is around 60-ish miles. Those honestly don't scare me too much. When you get to like that 100-mile number and you start to get to the time where it's like 30 hours of not sleeping and you're barely resting, that distance really scares me, which means I probably should do it once in my life because it scares me so much. And yeah, I don't really have a specific place in mind for a 100-miler. Leadville or any place out west would be neat, but it really could be anywhere. Another lifetime running goal of mine is to run a marathon in all 50 US states. I know Canada is talked about as the 51st state, not to get political, but in just the current 50 US states, I already have 2 checked off, and by the end of 2026, I should have 5 states checked off. And with about 40 years of running and 50 states, I just have to average about 1 per year, which I think is pretty manageable. It will require me to do some less popular marathons, like maybe one in Mobile, Alabama, for example. But I think it'll be a fun journey just to get to know all 50 states through running 26.2 miles. Something similar in terms of geography and doing marathons in all those 50 states is to do a marathon in every single continent. Right now, there's not a world major in South America, so that will probably have to be in Buenos Aires, in Brazil, or maybe Chile or Argentina, or I don't know, Venezuela or Colombia. Do a marathon some outside of America, don't really have any city picked out, and then pay a lot of money to do a marathon in Antarctica. There's a company that offers this for an exuberant fee, about $20,000, but it's possible and something I could save for. And as a side note, these are like running specific lifetime goals. Obviously, I have other lifetime goals like to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro or get to Everest Base Camp or maybe touch Moon or Mars or raise a family or work for a certain company. But these are just running specific. I just want to highlight that. Some other ultra marathon like goals. I do want to try the 4x4 by 48 David Goggins challenge, where you do 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. Pretty difficult, but I think I could do it. I mean, one of my college friends just did it, so it's possible, but you do have to go through the mental pain and struggle of being sleep deprived. One thing that my friend recommended me to do because he thinks I could win one, I don't know if I could win one, but I would sure like to try, and that's to do a last man standing ultra marathon where you're just doing like a loop around a course and you got to do like 3 to 4 to 5 miles every hour until the last person drops. And for a fun and very challenging time goal, I do want to set like 2:30 for a marathon and like sub 16 for a 5K. I'm not even mentioning Boston Marathon time, like getting a BQ. That's pretty ambitious already. I'm extending that to type goals. And this next one is a bit more personal to me, but I want to become first in the Tallahassee Marathon. It's my college town marathon race. I'm not going to live here in this college town long term, but I do want to come back, do this course, and possibly get first place because not too many marathon runners do it. And this could also be my way of getting prize money. And I do also kind of have the expectation that I might be able to get the course record, which flirts around with that 2:30 mark. I think the course record is like 2:26. So this is in the realm of my imagination, but I could shave it into reality. This next one's a little bit more simple. It takes place in one location. It's not like doing a mile in all 64 national parks in the United States. This one takes place in Orlando, Florida, and it's the Dopey Challenge, where you do a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, and then a marathon distance, all within a few days. Yeah, you get a lot of medals, and you get your own like shirts and medals for the Dopey Challenge individually, but yeah, this one's difficult. And one event that's running adjacent that I would like to try is High Rocks. This is like 50-50 strength training / running 1Ks in a event that's not too expensive. It's reasonably priced. I think it's sort of slightly cheaper than a marathon. And this is to do High Rocks singles and doubles. I've even tried most of the High Rocks movements. Like I've never done like a ski erg, which is like that pulling down, or a sled push or pull ever in my life. I've done like the rows and a kettlebell walk. I've done that before, and like squats and like push a ball up. I've done those movements, but the 3 movements I previously mentioned, I've never done. And I kind of want to go into a High Rocks event without ever doing those movements, with just my basic weight training at the gym, and just see how I go, whether in a doubles or a single event, because it's cool that you can do a doubles and not put all that pressure on yourself. And another running adjacent event is the Ironman. This is a lot of running, but also a lot of biking and swimming. I've done some biking training, and I'll be honest, to me it just really isn't my style too much. Like I could appreciate long, like 40-mile outdoor bike rides, but just like indoor bike for me is just like so mentally painful. Like I kind of love the treadmill, but just indoor bike rides, I don't know if it's like the bikes I've used, but for me indoor bike rides just don't really work. So this Ironman training, if I ever do one, which I want to, probably should do a half Ironman first, but yeah, this is a goal where it will incorporate some workouts other than running. One thing that I want to do that is very Miami, I want to do a half marathon, then go to Club Space. Or maybe do a full marathon in Miami, and then go to Club Space, which is just this like EDM club in Miami. I've been before, it's pretty chill, pretty cool, and that seems like a very Miami type thing to do. And another running goal that isn't really myself running, I do want to watch an Olympic marathon, or the Olympic trials in the US, or both. That I think would be very cool. And if I could see Conor Mantz or Clayton Young in person, even better. As we're approaching the end of my lifetime goals, I do want to say some running races that I would like to do in my lifetime. One of them is Valencia. I want to run that blue carpet in Spain so bad. It just looks so cool. Even though it's like a 100-meter stretch, I just want to run on that blue carpet. And Valencia is a fast marathon, so I do want to do that. That's one of probably the highest non-US marathon I want to do that's not a major marathon. Some other cool races that pique my interest is the Peachtree 10K in Atlanta, the Grandma's Marathon in Duluth, Minnesota, and eat that grandma's spaghetti. I do want to do a Flanagan's Rib Roll run in Miami, in the city that I grew up in. And some other races that pop out to me, I do want to do a beer mile, could be really in any city. The half marathon in Key West, Florida pops out to me as being a cool race. It's so condensed that it can't be a marathon, because then there'll just be loops and loops and loops. And then also I do want to do a Revel Series race. I guess this could be a way I cheat my way to a 2:30 marathon time, but yeah, that'd be cool. Some things that aren't in this video that might be in other people's running lifetime goals. breaking sub 3. I already did that myself, not to brag. And I'm not probably going to Olympic qualify. I don't think I'm going to aim for like below a 2:20 marathon. That's not really for me. The Grand Slam of running multiple 100-mile races, I don't think is quite for me. I'm also not too interested in doing the Barkley marathons where there really isn't a direct trail. You kind of just got to venture out on your own and really suffer because barely anyone finishes that one. Those are all the current running goals I have in my lifetime. I'm sure there's some other running goals I could add, like run a sub 5-minute mile or run a sub 4:30 or 4-minute mile, something like that. But this list is pretty extensive and this is going to occupy most of my life. So I'll be slowly tackling this list and I'll see you out there.